Welcome to Poland Daily Culture.
I'm Paulina Otterstein.
And I'm John Carter.
And today we're in Oporów in a beautiful Gothic castle.
And in today's episode, Paula's going to be speaking to an expert on Oporów Castle. I'm going to be taking you around the museum to see the sights and around the garden and the surrounding area. So join us as we take you on a little adventure around this historic place.
Jeśli chodzi o meble, to czy jest...
Did any original furniture remain in the castle?
Z życia rodzin zamieszkujących zamek?
Jeżeli chodzi o wyposażenie, są dwa wielkie zwierciadła w saloniku biedermajerowskim.
Not really, but there are two huge mirrors in the Biedermeier living room, and they are the only parts of the castle which we are sure haven't left the premises since the second half of the 19th century. They were once hanging between the windows in its hall. When the wonderful polychrome ceilings were discovered here, it was decided to decorate this room in a 17th century style, so the two mirrors were moved to the Biedermeier living room. 2 years ago, we also bought a 17th century beautiful mirror with an original Baroque glass, which is very rare, and we hanged it in the dining room. It's a small mirror, and it's possible that it belonged to the Tarnowscy family, although we are not 100% sure, even though we had to buy it from the family heirs due to its value for the exhibition.
No i na pochodzenie umieścić na naszej ekspozycji.
Pan wspomniał o polowaniach, które były tu organizowane.
You mentioned hunting parties which were organized here, but were there any other activities, balls or parties which you could describe?
Wspomnieć, czy przyjeżdżało tu dużo gości?
Temat jest dosyć szeroki, ale i ciekawy. Natomiast nie mamy też zbyt wielu przekazów, na przykład o XVII.
The castle was very lively. It's a very broad subject, but we don't have much information regarding the 17th century events that took place here in Oporów. We can suspect that music was played here and parties took place. We definitely know that there were parties and balls here at the interwar period in the beginning of the 20th century, in the times when the castle was owned by Mr. Szymon Karski. But the family that lived here and took care of the building was the family of Skopnicy. It was a great Polish family which had such ancestors as Krakow province governors during the times of King Casimir the Great, a famous archbishop Jarosław Bogoria Skopnicki, who built a lot of castles in the interwar period. The brother of Gustav Skopnicki, General Stanisław Grzmot Skopnicki, also came here to visit. He would often sit with Gustav's wife by the piano and play together with 4 landowners. Jarosław, Gustav's son, often impressed local girls here. He was a very handsome and likable man. The castle was very alive, filled with happiness and smiles, but unfortunately it was disrupted in 1939. Gustav Skopnicki was arrested by the Gestapo and he later died in the Mauthausen concentration camp. His brother, General Stanisław Grzmot Skopnicki, died in the Battle of Bzura in 1939 near Sochaczew. The third brother died during a roundup in Warsaw from the German hands. Their mother, Wanda, who often came here and used the room next door as a bedroom, couldn't handle the death of her third son and passed away. She didn't live to see her fourth son die, who was also killed in a German camp. Jarosław, the one who was organizing parties here, was also shot by the Germans. The whole family, the whole male line of the family, 7 men, were killed during the Second World War. Nobility has its price, and the only reason the family survived was the fact that there were some minor Skopnicy which were too young to fight. They retrieved the Skopnicki estate in 1997. The Karsty family, who also claimed the right to the Oporów Castle, and I hope they will be fully compensated. From what I heard, they want the museum to remain here.
Które podkreśla, które kultywuje te dobre, szlacheckie tradycje.
The castle in Oporów was built in the first half of the 15th century and is one of the few castles in Poland preserved in such good condition. It features a medieval knight defensive residence. Through the ages, it was always inhabited, saved against damage and distorting reconstruction, becoming the center of Poland's secular medieval architecture. The castle is situated on an island surrounded by a moat, which originally ran under the drawbridge situated in front of the arched gateway. Its compact layout is concentrated around a quadrangular courtyard, a residential house, 2-story tower, and a flanking tower, with a chapel and defensive walls closing the courtyard to the north and east. The layout of the castle interior still remains almost unchanged. The first historical mention of Oporów comes from the second half of the 14th century. Then it was the seat of the Oporowski family, of the Sulima coat of arms, the most prestigious in the Łęczyca lands.
Teraz tak odchodząc od części historycznej, czy
Leaving history for now, are there any events that take place here in the castle right now?
zjednoczające ludzi, którzy przyjeżdżają, czy są organizowane projekty?
Organizujemy różnego rodzaju i to od bardzo wielu lat. Ten zamek ma tradycję zarówno koncertów muzycznych.
Yes, for many years now we have been organizing different events here. There were many classical music concerts, there were also plays performed at the castle courtyard and meetings with great Polish actors. There are also local events taking place in Oporów, for example the Harvest Festival in the castle park, which refers to the old 19th century tradition. We also have historical reconstructions, very popular nowadays. Historical groups visit us often, for example the Project 14 group, which reenacts the noble lifestyle of the 14th century. 2 years ago we had 160 people come here from all over Europe dressed as medieval aristocracy. Apart from that, we have people who reconstruct the end of the 15th century and the 17th century as well, the Swede Deluge and the Kutnowska land. It's worth mentioning that the Oporów Castle is only 20 kilometers away from Kutno, which is a city with not such a long history as the castle, but is a very important communication point in Poland, while the castle itself is a great historical background for Kutno. We had reconstruction groups passionate about the 19th century too, so all the way from the 14th up to the 19th century. We also had the 16th century groups showing traditional Renaissance dances.
Mieliśmy również występy i klimaty kultury XVI-wiecznej, kultury renesansowej.
Thank you very much for joining us here at Poland Daily Culture from Oporów Castle. I'm John Carter.
I'm Paulina Otterstein, and don't forget to watch us again and subscribe to our new YouTube channel, Poland Daily Live. See you soon.